Guys, welcome back to the JaySquared Podcast. Um, that was a great intermission. How do you feel?
I feel like rusty.
You feel rusty? I feel rusty too.
Yeah.
Man, it's only been like we literally do this once every 2 weeks, and when we took the whole month off, it's like shit.
We come back. We don't know how the mics work.
I
We
don't
don't
know
know where
how
to
to-
put the lights at.
I don't know how to talk more than usual.
Yeah.
Shit was crazy.
You're calling people characters.
Yo, Karen, I'm a fucking loser. I was thinking about. I was like, oh, I'm a nerd.
Yeah. I mean, we
Anyway.
both are. So.
So we're gonna move into our special topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So today's special topic is actually systematic racism.
Systemic.
It's systemic and systematic also.
Are you sure?
I promise. I'll look this shit up right now.
Okay. Systemic racism or institutional racism?
So, where are we going here? Are we understanding it? What are we doing?
Doing a little bit of both.
Understanding and trying to see what we can do to solve it, huh?
Mm-hmm. So, how we're gonna do this special topic? We're gonna go over what the real definition of systemic racism is, and different types of examples of it, and then we're gonna talk about experiences that we've experienced in general with it, just to show a little light, because I don't think a lot of people understand what systemic racism is. So bringing a little bit of clarity on the subject, and also ways that we could change
Yeah, because I think that I
and educate.
honestly believe that the core of a lot of issues is just understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And I firmly believe that a lot of us are on the same, like pretty much in the same boat about a lot of issues.
Yeah.
It's just that we don't understand each other and we're not willing to have a conversation. And that's why we made this
That's
safe
why we're here.
space. Yeah,
Yeah.
we made a safe space so we can talk about things openly. And, again, if you guys have any questions, ever want to talk about anything, our DMs are open. We're always going to respond to you guys.
Yeah.
We literally...
Unless you get weird.
Unless you get weird, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when it comes to understanding, that's the biggest thing you could do to me, because it shows me that you care.
Mm-hmm.
Shows us that you care. Yeah, and it brings a lot into it. So how do we start this off?
Definition of it. So the
Alright.
definition: a form of racism embedded through law and regulations within our society or an organization.
And I think that's pretty much, like, just to boil it down, like that's pretty much exactly, what people go through and try to explain, and it's just harder to explain than it, like, because it's hard to feel something you don't see,
Yes.
or you
don't
don't
experience.
You get me?
Stop
This shit
copying
does not
me.
happen on purpose, I promise. But
Oh my
it's true. Like,
God.
it's so hard to
Yeah.
go ahead, and it's not tangible to some people because they don't experience it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's good to have a breakdown of what goes on.
Yeah, so there's different types
Mhm.
of discrimination within systemic racism. You could see it within the criminal justice, employment, housing, healthcare, political power, and the biggest for me, education.
Very true. I mean, when you do break it down, criminal justice is one of the things that's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you look at numbers and things like that. When we talk about employment, man, it just all ties in together, and I'm gonna be honest, it was a masterful job done by whoever decided to fuck up, the POC in the world.
Yeah,
Because
when it comes to
this
money, when it
shit-
comes to trying to get hired, when
it's
it
so
comes
deep.
to, yeah, it's a lot.
Because, like, when you talk about employment, like, where do you get it? Like, let's say, for example, a little example. Guy gets busted for a little bit of weed. He goes to jail for a crazy amount of time, right? He has kids. Kids grow up without a dad. They start doing bad in school because they don't understand things. They don't have a healthy house to come home to. Single mothers now working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, doesn't have time to take care of kids. Then that kid grows up, seeks employment, probably didn't graduate, probably didn't do a lot of things because they just didn't have the funds, didn't have the means. Yeah, they didn't have the support to do these things. And then everything else suffers from there. I mean, and then people wonder why others or POCs turn to, these different types of lives. It's because the foundation is shaken, and once the foundation is shaken or broken, then building something up is a little harder. And what people need to understand is that it's not an attack on anybody who is the majority. It's not an attack. All it is an understanding that there was, there was a head start for some people. Nobody's saying that, you didn't work hard. Nobody's saying that things weren't tough for you. Just saying that you had a head start. So understand when somebody's behind you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's
a big one. That's a big thing that people need to remember. But, I mean, it's tough when you've never experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Let's get into some examples. So, the first example is housing. So, there's a homeowner's loan. It's basically banks determine a neighborhood's risk for loan default and redline neighborhoods that were high risk for crimes, which are mostly African-American neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
A big example that I like that Marvel did,
they
highlighted it in Falcon and Winter Soldier when Sam and his sister are trying to get a loan to save their family boat, but they can't because of certain circumstances.
Certain circumstances,
which read between the lines.
And that's what I loved about the show, is because they did highlight these situations, and they didn't care whether it made somebody feel uncomfortable or not.
Mm-hmm.
They spread awareness.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much something that's, it's more than a lot of other institutions even could say that they did.
Yeah.
And
it's basically the banks don't want to give you money because they are racially profiling you and the neighborhood you're from. Even though if they do give you the money, it would benefit you and potentially get you out of the situation that you're trying to get out of. But if you keep taking away the loans from people who need it, they're going to fall back into the same situation over and over and over and over and over again. So there's no growth.
And we understand this and we see this, so it's hard for us to think that it's not done on purpose.
Yeah. It's very hard for people of color to be like, oh, okay,
Yeah, like, oh, this is just,
fine.
I just got to work a little hard.
It's just not fair.
This isn't that. And it's just a little disheartening when you feel like you're not being heard when it comes to these situations.
Yeah.
And it ties into, like, everything else. Like, if you really do drive through, like, a POC neighborhood, then compared to, a white neighborhood or a privileged neighborhood, then you will see you could visually see the differences.
Yeah.
How is it that you think that everybody's making the same exact mistake? Or is it that there's something that's institutionalized that forces people into this situation?
Yeah, so I would highly recommend, if you don't believe in this systemic racism, drive through what people call the hood, okay? Mm-hmm. Look at the schools that are around there. Look at the food. Look at the liquor stores. Look at the shopping centers. Look at the hospitals, okay? Count how many liquor stores are there.
And the thing
hold up. And then go to a white or rich privileged neighborhood. Count how many liquor stores they have. Look at the schools. Look at the hospitals. Look at the food. And then come talk to me.
And it's a very strong point. And the thing is that people like to use the straw man arguments or the anecdote, like those anecdotes. Oh, yeah, well, this person made it out. This person, it's like, yeah, but just because this person made it out doesn't mean that just because they were exceptional, you can't expect everybody to be exceptional. That's what you're expecting. You're expecting everybody to be like the greatest of the great when they're supposed to just be regular people.
Yeah.
And people should have a right to just be normal.
Yeah. I just feel like because one person makes it out doesn't mean everybody else makes it out.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good motivation story to help try to get more people out, but It's not as easy as it seems.
And also, like, don't people find it strange, or if you're somebody that doesn't believe in this, like, just think it's all hogwash, it's all bullshit, whatever. Don't you wonder why these people that do get out try to give back
to the community so much?
They know that something's wrong,
mm-hmm.
So they try to give back to their home.
They try to fix it too. Yeah. So if nothing was wrong, why would they give money back?
Exactly. Obviously, you could get out too, and it should be that easy.
Yeah, it should be easy because, they made it to the NBA. They made it to the NFL.
Yeah.
No, there's a bunch of sacrifice that goes behind that people tend to ignore because they make money now.
It's not even that it's obvious to me, because I'm going to be honest with you. If I was white, I probably would be thinking the same thing. Mm-hmm. But the goal is to spread awareness and education and information.
Yeah.
So people could know better so they can do better.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the goal is.
Yeah. And it's being showcased even more now with the pandemic because it's hit a lot of African American and Latino neighborhoods so hard. The communities struggled a lot because health insurance, finding good hospitals, finding good doctors is very tough for people of color. And you can read the statistic, like black women are 2.5 times more likely to die from maternal causes than any other race, or to be misdiagnosed.
Yeah, because apparently they're just not seen. They're not seen the same, so they see, like, when they're in pain, their pain isn't seen as real.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not how pain works.
Yeah.
That's not how life works. Just because you think someone is stronger doesn't mean that they're not hurting.
Or that they're over-exaggerating.
Uh-huh.
And since they're over-exaggerating, then this isn't really like, man, and it's a scary thing to see. It's a scary thing to see.
Yeah.
And it forces people, and this is what happens. I'm gonna be honest with you. It forces people into seeking help from people who look like them because they don't feel safe.
Yeah. Yep.
They don't feel safe. Like, I'm gonna be real. I go to a black therapist and I also go to a black doctor.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I don't want to become a statistic.
Yeah. I go to Hispanic, Latinos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could understand why.
Yeah.
And then you look at the prison system, it's mostly blacks and Latinos.
Yes.
The stop and frisk is targeted at blacks and Latinos. Police brutality,
you could tell it's specifically targeted to these races.
And also, it's the craziest thing about it is that people get mad at, like, I have conversations literally every day with people. Sometimes it's random. Sometimes they're people that I know that just don't get it, don't want to get it. It's fine. I'm always willing to have a conversation about any of this if it's hard to understand or if you want to understand. But the way police brutality works is that and again, like, for me, I'm against all police brutality against anyone. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that it works is that you judge somebody by what you think they might do, and then you act on what you think, they might do next, or what they might have done if, given the opportunity. It's not a fair and just way to look at things. And I'm gonna be real with you. If you're scared of people, if you're scared of any type of person, and you feel like you need to kill them, like, just because you see them as a threat, and you're in fear of your life as often as you are, without anybody being a threat to you, then you do not need to be a police officer. I don't need a police officer who is scared of me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst thing that we can have.
Yeah, you're just supposed to protect and serve.
And the biggest thing that, like, for example, like Black Lives Matter, all they're asking for is just accountability. Like, the movement, Black Lives Matter, is just asking for accountability when it comes to police brutality. So it shouldn't take an arm and a leg, burning the whole country down to get an officer arrested for something that he did.
Mm-hmm.
Or getting them convicted for something that they did. It shouldn't take that much.
Yeah.
It should be it should be due process, but it should be due process. It should happen without us having to be outraged every single time.
Yeah.
It's fishy.
And the other thing with this whole criminal justice part, with prisons as well, blacks and Latinos, very unlikely to get out on parole.
Yeah.
Very unlikely to even get, a bail.
Yeah. And that's what we're sick of seeing. It's like,
yeah.
Because it's like you put the cuffs, like, for example, there are so many officers that they get arrested and then they're forgotten about because it's like, well, we arrested them. What else do you want us to do? But then they get off. It's like, this isn't fair. This isn't fair. This isn't justice. All we're asking for is just justice. Even if you kill us, we're just asking you for the bare minimum, which is justice to be served. And it's just crazy that we can't get that far.
Yeah, but it goes into more corruption within, prisons and police stations and all that. But, I mean,
it's so deep.
It's so deep into it. That could be a whole other chapter because prisons in itself.
Oh my God.
There's so much going on with that. But
it's insane. It's insane.
It's all a money game at the end, if you actually think about it. But that could be another topic.
Be another topic. Fuck.
But the other thing I wanted to talk about with this, staying in this realm right now, quantum realm.
Staying within this quantum realm.
Yeah.
Time doesn't exist.
Crime is up in POC neighborhoods. Why is that? Because we refuse to put in money within our community. Within these communities. I say our community because we are POCs. But within these communities, and if we were to put in money for better schools, better police stations, better hospitals, better everything, things will start to change.
And that's the point.
And that's the problem because we don't want to give back to these communities that need it.
And the biggest thing that you can do is take away a child's education. And also the next most crucial thing you could do to somebody is give them false information. Like, not give them the whole story. And that's why these bills to teach what really happened when it came down to, slavery and race theory, like when it comes down to it, those aren't important issues that people need to know, so we understand what America was, so we could not make the same mistakes.
But it's history. It's part of our history. So we're basically trying to erase part of our history and only teach little bits of it. You're not teaching anything.
Exactly. You're really doing a disservice to everybody who,
You're censoring education.
Yeah, and that's what the scary thing is. It's because people have a misinformation. So when they have this misinformation of how things actually went, then they start to create their own narrative.
Yes.
About how things are.
Yeah. Well, you could see it now. Well, education, Black History Month, all the pictures are in black and white. And it literally happened like 40 years ago. Yeah. All these pictures should be in color, but they make it seem like it happened so long ago that it can't be happening right now.
Damn, I didn't even think about that.
Sorry, I hit you with the left.
Even with that, I was listening to something today. Martin Luther King, they always talk about, oh, he was peaceful, this peace, that. Dude, the reason why they killed him was because his peaceful protests were turning into questions. Like, he was questioning why he was doing it in a peaceful way. Why are we doing this peacefully? And he even said himself he fears that he was leading his people into a burning building because it wasn't getting anywhere. Yeah. It wasn't getting anywhere. I was
just about to say, stop reading my mind.
I'm sorry, but it's true. It's like he started turning into Malcolm X, and Malcolm X started getting a little. I don't even want to put it out there like that because I want to keep it just as that.
Yeah. Let's keep it.
Martin Luther King was turning more into Malcolm X, and they did not take kindly to that.
Yeah. Which is why education is important. Like, we need to learn these things. But back to like how education is used as systemic racism. Oh. Standardized test.
This doesn't make any sense.
Why are we taking these tests? Oh, because it favors specific races.
Yeah. and areas in general is because there's no way for somebody to thrive off of something that they were not taught or they don't understand.
Exactly.
There's no way.
And at the end of the day, these tests don't matter because all you need is that paper.
Exactly. And
so what was the point of me taking this test when regardless, like, all I need is this paper that says I graduated. My GPA, my grades don't matter anymore as long as I have that paper.
And that's the biggest thing. Like, that's one of the things that I
always... Shit pisses me off.
I never understood. Yeah, we were relatively, like, I was an all right student. I'm pretty sure that you were a good student.
Yeah.
But
I'm a fucking nerd.
Even after we graduated and things like that, we still realized, like, this is all pretty much bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, none of this really does matter. What matters is the skills you have and what you can do. Yeah. But
I think the other thing that's big is, like, how hard it is for people of color to get into colleges.
Yeah.
Into universities. Like, we both had to go to community college in order to get to big universities.
I definitely had to spend those years in community college, and then got to go to university. But also these things I didn't know were available to me.
So many things are available to us, but no one tells us. So by the time that we're in it, we're already, like, deep in loans.
Yeah. Boy. Hey, I tell you what, them loans was beating my ass up. But luckily, I came out the other side and I gained an understanding of how things work, how money works. It's all a
business.
Yeah.
Like, education in general is a business.
But
like,
then
they don't really care about y'all.
And it goes back to, like, it being something that
it's against us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's being put against us. It's so hard for us to get help with the simplest thing as, like, making your schedule for class.
Yeah.
That this is why a lot of people of color give up. Mm-hmm. This is why a lot of people of color don't graduate, because it's like, what's the point? You're putting all these obstacles around me that now, like, I can't even pay for these classes.
That's true. And I'm telling you what, like, loans, they were kicking my ass so bad. They're kissing my ass. Now they're kissing my ass. But they were kicking my ass so bad. But the way I got out of those holes or got out of debt was because I have two loving parents who both have jobs.
Same.
Who are able to help and provide for me in the meantime.
I'm sorry.
And people don't understand how big of a deal that really is.
Yeah, we both have very loving and supporting parents, which is good, but not all of people of color have,
or all people, period. Like,
in general,
it's just hard to pretty much maneuver a situation where you don't have access to certain things. And, like, it honestly, if I didn't have that, then I don't know where I'd be. Really don't.
Same.
And you got to acknowledge that people of color, through systemic racism, have been put in a situation where they're disadvantaged so greatly
from the start.
Yeah, from the start.
I mean, like, our parents are immigrants.
Yeah, definitely.
That's where it starts.
And it's
right
like,
there.
They're just they're pretty much put at a disadvantage so greatly in the beginning that there is no hope unless, like, you do something drastic to get out of this situation. And even then,
it's still, like, the odds are against you.
Dude, like, if we go into, like, going into sports.
Wait. Before we go into sports, one last thing on education. Look at the big schools, big universities. I went to a fairly big university, and in my hand, I could count the people of color who worked in certain departments. That should tell you enough.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And
people need to start noticing this.
Yeah.
Because the other thing, usually the people of color working, janitorial.
Exactly. Janitorial. These are staff members. These are people that, that aren't really making the amount that would be able to, feed their kids.
Exactly.
Or, sustain a home.
And it would be pretty awesome to see people of color teaching you,
Yeah.
Just teachers.
Yeah.
In these big universities. Because, like, for me, that would have been awesome. I would have been like, oh my God, there's another Latina person here.
Yeah. Definitely.
And you could, like, it helps with relating certain things that they're teaching.
It's like, you ever seen that meme? Like, it's a little black girl, and she's looking at the wall of, like, white Barbie dolls. And it really shows how, like, you know, representation and things like that have an effect on you. Like, it's easier to do something when you can see somebody like you do it.
Exactly. And that's what we lack in a lot of things. But heading into sports, we're seeing a very little bit of it. Going back to this whole thing, count how many people of color are coaches.
Owners.
Let alone owners. You could count them in your hand. In one hand, you could count.
And it's insane because the pay gaps along with that are so massive when you are somebody who is in that position.
Exactly. And, like, the other thing, too, like, majority of these players are people of color. Exactly. Yet they don't have that...
Oh, my God.
...person to look up to as a coach, as an owner.
And you know what baffles me?
GMs, like...
What pisses me off is that people try to say, oh, well, if they wanted that position, they should have worked harder. These motherfuckers have been jumping as high as they can since they were 4. Like, you're telling me they didn't work hard enough? Like, this is bullshit. Every single day, you trained your body to the core. You broke yourself down to build it back up again. And then just to have a chance to get into a situation where you can make a little bit of money. And you're telling me that this person that's
been playing their whole life, made it to the professional league, probably has won multiple championships, has a good resume. Oh, they're not qualified to be your coach?
As this person who was given the job, or this person that was handed down the job because of money, or they were put in a place that had money. It doesn't make sense.
It blows my mind.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Another example would be like Tim Tebow. Was a quarterback. Got out of the league. Started playing baseball. Now he's back in the league playing tight end.
Make it make
sense. Yeah, make it make sense. How? Like, so he's allowed to keep getting these jobs even though he's not good at it. Over people who have been working and have shown that they're good at it.
I don't know how you still find ways to just throw shade. This shit's crazy.
Oh, he's a Florida Gator and I'm a Georgia Bulldog. Go Dogs.
No, but it proves itself time and time and again. And to really tie it up, it's a conversation that I feel like needs to happen because people just don't know what's going on and they feel like they don't have to, which is true. You don't have to if you're privileged, but...
Yeah, but the reason why we want to have this conversation is for those who are privileged to, try to open your eyes a little bit and see how lucky you are in the position that you're in, while the rest of us are trying to get a little taste of it.
And assist the next person that you see who is in that dire need.
Yeah.
So, how do we overcome it? What do we do?
Educate. Education. This is the best way. We need to start educating people to try to understand. Now, the problem becomes when people refuse to understand or refuse to learn.
I think that's where my solution comes in.
Go ahead.
It's communication. I feel like communication is the barrier. Like, I literally have conversations with people, like I said, literally it's daily conversations with people that are only disagreeing because they don't have a relevant
example
comparison.
Or experience.
They're not able to compare it. Like, so for example, I was talking to a woman the other day and we were talking about cops and stuff like that, and she's like, hey, why aren't black people just more respectful to cops and things like that? And I'm
I have one for you.
Well, why don't women just dress appropriately and guys won't come rape them? Like, that's the type of line of thinking you're going in with.
Oh shit. Okay.
it's
No,
true.
it's true. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
line of thinking you're going in with. You're going in with a line of thinking.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You just like shook me right there for a second. I was thinking in my head my example, and then you were just like, and I was like, oh, okay.
No, it's true. It's not somebody's job to be nice to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's your job. What you're getting paid for is to go ahead and do your job properly.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I shouldn't fuck with you because you don't want to be fucked with. It doesn't matter what you're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
I should be respectful, or not even be
No,
respectful,
just
but
be
I
a
should just leave you the
person.
fuck alone.
Be a person.
Like
yeah.
that should just be it. But
Yeah. My example is a lot different from yours.
go ahead. I want to hear it.
So when I was living in Georgia, the Georgia schools over there, like the big schools, they have football stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
They have 2 gyms. Even the middle school has a gym for basketball teams. Okay, so when I was over there, I was shocked, and I was telling everybody over there, I was like, wait, all the middle schools have a basketball gym? And they're like, yeah, of course. Like, what school doesn't? And I was like, Miami. All the middle schools here, like me growing up, I've been playing basketball my whole life. So in middle school, all our games were outside.
Yeah.
In Miami, heat and humidity. So that right there was like, oh, you guys are so privileged that you think this is normal when it's not. Like, no, like our high school didn't have a football stadium. We barely made a baseball stadium, a small baseball stadium. It doesn't even have stands. Like, it barely has stands. And these people have like MLB style baseball stadiums, NFL, college stadiums. And I'm like, how? Like, this isn't normal.
The insane thing about it is that we've just, so I personally feel like we normalized these situations simply because we're used to it. Yeah. And it's average to us. It's like, oh, what do you mean you don't have this, and that? Yeah. And that's the same line of thinking that goes into institutionalized racism. Like, what do you mean the cop did that? What? My brother's a cop. He would never. And I'm like, I'm not talking about your brother. We're talking about some fucking asshole that shot some kid. Yeah. Like, that's who we're talking about. Yeah. It's just
it's a lot in general that people need to start realizing that it's not all fine and dandy in the world. Like, a lot of us struggle, like, out the mud.
Yeah. So. And I think that communication and understanding each other, or just opening your mind to understanding something that you just don't get. You have to first admit that you don't get it. Then you have to go ahead and ask questions, and that's how change would come.
Yeah. And also, we'd like to remind everyone that this is Native American land.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. We force them to celebrate Thanksgiving. That's a little fucked up.
Christopher Columbus.
Hey, man.
There's a lot. There's a lot. People need to educate themselves. I highly recommend it.
This is the first time I think we've ended off on a special topic and have felt angry.
I'm angry. Yeah, right? Like, it's so bad.
Before we'd be like sad and depressed, and sometimes
we feel relieved
and comfortable.
Yeah.
And now
I want to break my computer. Yeah. Like, square up.
And then
y'all want to racist. And then you want to start more shit, but nah.
Yo.
And then you don't want to teach people what's happening in the world. I'm sorry. I'm screaming.
It's just a lot. It's a lot. And
I'm getting loud. I apologize.
You know. And
actually, no, I don't.
No. Hopefully, we open up a forum where people could have safe, comfortable conversations. And I want you guys conversations. I'm not taking that one back. I like it. But definitely, like, our DMs are open. Like,
we're not looking
I'm
for...
the least judgmental person in the world. Yeah. I want you to talk to me. I want to help people understand. I want to have that conversation. I really, really, really do.
We'd like to take you around our neighborhood and just show you.
Or just even like, and if it's even not that, just I'm having a one-on-one conversation with somebody that, we had like a discussion.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, I'm having a one-on-one conversation with them this Tuesday at Starbucks at 6 p.m. And
if anyone's interested.
if anyone's interested, hell yeah, let me know. I'll give you the address. But yeah,
DM.
DM us.
Yeah.
Give it the address.
Yeah.
But definitely, like, that's something that needs to be talked about.
Yeah. We're open to conversations. We're not looking for arguments. We're not looking for, bullying or anything. We're looking to have an educated conversation where we both could learn.
Yeah, and both walk away with something.
Yeah. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of why we keep doing this.
That's the whole point of JaySquared.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And if you want to fight,
go somewhere else.
Go somewhere else.
We ain't about that.
But yeah, we're loving people.
Yeah, man. So
But
yeah,
that's how we're ending it.
yeah, that's how we have to end it. There's not really much else we could do. I'm sorry.
I don't like it.
I apologize.
Okay.
But now going into our favorite topic, Ximena needs to know. All right, so Ximena, we've been gone for a while, so we need to let you know about a little bit of something.
A little something.
What's going on in the world?
Thank you for texting us the other day, and that actually made my day, Ximena.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And I want to go ahead and double down on this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually circle back to this, I guess. I don't know. Zoom meetings have been teaching me fucking weird ass ways to go ahead and segue into conversation.
Yeah.
But if you don't know, Ximena is one of our really close friends, and we used to work out together all the time.
We're also in a band
together. And what would happen is that Ximena doesn't have any type of social media or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she would just go ahead and not know what's going on in the world. And we'd start talking about it, me and J-Rock. And she'd just be like, what? That happened?
Yeah.
Impossible. And I'd be like, yeah, you didn't hear about that on the news? What's the news? And that's
what does the news mean?
And that's pretty much why we created this segment. It's for every Ximena that you guys have in your life. And
here's what you need to know.
Oh,
also,
nice one. I should have mentally caught on to
that one. Fuck. Screwing up.
Sorry, I'm
Screwing
sorry.
up the mojo.
So, first thing, Juneteenth. So, if you guys don't, well, Ximena, if you don't know, Juneteenth is the emancipation of enslaved African Americans. All right. It's also meant to celebrate African American culture. I hate it here. I hate it here. The 12th federal and is now the 12th federal holiday in the U.S. That's right, baby. Yeah. Take your days off.
Also, Culture 3 is out.
Culture 3 is out. Great.
I liked it a lot.
Great intro to it. I need to listen to it.
Wow.
I haven't.
Well, don't talk to me.
I'm a failure. I don't care.
Don't talk to me.
But this is the crazy thing. They don't feel like teaching about these things in school
anymore.
And they haven't changed anything.
Yeah,
like that's what bothers me the most. You can have the holidays, you can have all these different things.
The extra day off.
Yeah, the extra day off, great. But
where's the change?
Yeah, what's the fundamental change? Are you gonna put laws in place that protect? Are you gonna put laws in place that protect Black people, assist Black people? What are you gonna do? And I just haven't seen it yet. So. I mean, I'm happy that I get the day off, but I do want to see some more growth and change.
Well, they announced it so late that they couldn't even give the day off for certain places. So, we started off on the wrong foot. Yeah.
Sometimes. Next up?
It's Pride Month.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Actually, man, I really do love how, the LGBTQ plus community.
It's LGBTIA Q plus.
Educate me, because if I say Q plus, doesn't that mean everything else?
LGBTQIA plus. There we go. I said it wrong.
Okay, so the plus doesn't mean everything else?
IA got added.
Okay.
And plus is every other one that doesn't have an initial? I don't know. Okay. I read that.
Educate me, please. I need to know.
Us.
We need to know. And Ximena needs to know also.
Yeah.
They got a new flag. It's dope. It's very inclusive.
Yeah. I mean, it has all the colors. It's amazing.
Yeah. And also there is the first openly gay NFL player. Mm-hmm. I don't think he was the first. Is he the first active one?
Openly.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, Carl Nassib of the Oakland Raiders. Mm-hmm. He's a defensive lineman. God damn, yo!
Jesus Christ, he has not been able to speak today.
I'm sorry, guys. It's just that I've been off for a while, and
speaking is hard.
Talking is hard. Time is hard. Life is hard. Okay.
We're living in the quantum realm.
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
But yeah.
Speaking of quantum realm, you like that?
That was good.
That was good.
Speaking of quantum realms. Loki is officially
Bisexual.
Or would it be like
gender fluid?
Yeah, or would it be species fluid? I mean,
now we're getting very nerd.
I just want to know.
We're speaking nerd right now.
But he is not the first.
He is not the first. Let's clarify that.
Yeah, it is
Valkyrie.
It is Valkyrie, who is also a POC female who was the first. Okay.
LGBTQ superhero.
Dope.
If you don't know, Valkyrie is in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Played by Tessa Thompson.
Lit character.
Top of the top.
Snapped on all.
She is also the queen or king of Asgard now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's why Thor, Love and Thunder, we're going to explore whether she's the queen or king or both.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? She's in charge.
It's true.
Yeah.
Very factual. Right, so, next up is Chris Brown. Don't look at me like that. Alleged battery of a woman in L.A. Okay. You let me read this one.
Fine.
Because you know how I would react to something like this. He hit her so hard her wig came off. This is reported. I am not.
This is straight out of Complex News.
I am not just saying this.
Shout out to Complex News.
Jesus Christ, don't come for me.
No, this is legit how it was reported on multiple news outlets, but I mean, it's alleged.
So are you surprised?
Me personally, no.
Okay. I mean, I don't like to see people backtrack and see them in the previous way that they were, but yeah, it was shocking to me, but it's a behavior.
Yeah.
It's a
repeated behavior. So, I mean, we'll see. It's alleged, so don't
jump to conclusions.
Exactly. It's alleged right now. But yeah. Now, something that's not alleged.
Damn, I hate to laugh at this. Like, it's not funny. It's not funny, man.
It's not.
It's not funny.
It's not. Drake Bell.
Yeah, pleads guilty to attempted child endangerment.
Oh, by the way, Jamie, Jesoma has not been able to talk.
I haven't been able to speak properly.
Chapter.
Yeah. Jamie just walked into the door. Say hi, Jamie. But I don't even know how to go off of that.
I don't know.
That was the worst thing
terrible.
in the
world. Yeah. Jamie has been doing agent stuff.
Yeah.
So.
God, like, so busy, too busy to come into the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, but we could set everything up for you. You know what the problem is with Jamie? Jamie's the most inconsistent manager / agent we have.
/ chef. Oh, look, Jamie dropped the light.
And Jamie just knocking stuff over. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I was joking.
Back to Drake Bell as Jamie fixed the light. Thank you. Yeah. So Ximena
was in an inappropriate
chat
with a 15-year-old girl.
Sexual chat.
Sorry, sexually charged chat. Could face up to 2 years in prison.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Yeah. But we'll leave it there.
Oh, and Brittany Spears.
Yeah.
Jesus
so
Christ.
We spoke about Brittany Spears documentary, I think the second or third chapter, and no one gave a fuck. Quite honestly, we put out a post about it and no one cared. And
we were saying it.
Yeah, and now talking about it. And now people are caring because she has testified in court over the abusive conservatorship.
But the thing is, also I still keep the same energy. I don't know how you feel now. But I still feel like, there's still two sides to things.
Yeah, there's a lot that hasn't been told.
For a lot.
Yeah, but
it's crazy.
It's still terrible. The situation is terrible. Apparently, she has an IUD in her body without her permission, and she's not allowed to go to the doctors to get it taken out. She's being controlled by her doctors. They're giving her different types of medication. I read that they put her on lithium, which is crazy. But apparently she's been in and out of different drugs and medication by her therapist and other doctors. So bad that she can't hold conversations with her family.
fuck, man. That's insane.
So yeah, free Brittany, man.
Yeah, free Brittany. This is like mental health, man.
Yeah.
I can't stress it enough. We talk about it every single chapter simply because it's so damn important.
Yeah.
If your mental health is lacking, see somebody because you have the opportunity to. I hate that it has to be, there has to be an example, but this is an example of not having even the ability, the freedom to go ahead and take care of your mental health.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it.
You can't trust anybody.
Yeah.
So, free Brittany. We're with you.
Oh, and
the last topic, Ximena. So this one is close to home. Yeah. Ximena.
Very close to home.
Yeah.
So in Miami, I believe it was yesterday. But what was the date? It would be
it was overnight.
June 24th. June 24th, June 23rd, you want to say?
June 24th because it was at 1 a.m.
Okay. Yeah, June 24th, a building in Miami, Surfside, Miami, collapsed.
On Collins Avenue.
Yeah. And as of now, do we know how many people are missing?
Over 105 are missing. 4 are dead. Last time I read, I think it was 99 who have been found, but out of those 99, we're not sure how many have been found out of the rubble.
Yeah.
But it's really bad, Ximena. Like,
definitely, just keep them in your prayers.
Thoughts and prayers to everybody out there. Hopefully, more survivors are found. And shout out to the firefighters out there first responders, firefighters. They have not stopped looking for people. And the bad thing about what's on top of all of that, it hasn't stopped raining here.
That's what makes it so much worse.
It makes it so much worse because it's flooding and it's so much difficult to like take out all of the rubble because it's so wet, and then random fires keep happening.
Yeah.
So it's super smoky over there, and I don't know. It's not something that happens often, and for me, it's very traumatic because the FIU bridge comes to mind. Yeah. And I literally drove under that bridge 2 days before it collapsed. So to me, like, whenever anything collapses, it just brings back.
Triggers you, huh?
Yeah. So.
And what we can do for everybody is we can add a link.
Yeah, we made a. We'll add it to the YouTube. We actually made an IG post with the donation link. Supportsurfside.org is the website if you guys want to donate. I mean, we're hoping for the best. If there's any way we could volunteer, we're going to try to volunteer or do anything to help out. But, yeah. Thoughts and prayers to everybody over there.
Thoughts and prayers, man.
Yeah.
And we've been doing this a lot.
My jaw hurts.
We end on a dark note.
Yeah. Well, this chapter has been
a little bit morbid, unfortunately.
My jaw hurts, though. We've been talking.
We have been talking a lot.
But,
sorry for the long chapter. Sorry, not sorry. We just came back. We haven't talked to each other in so long. We need to get it out.
Yeah. Shout out to the fans.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys for waiting. I know, like, usually
people fall off.
People
say, "Oh, there's not enough coming out. Fuck it." But you guys are true fans, man.
Yeah, you guys
really appreciate it.
You guys have kept up with our polls whenever we post. Like, our video of us saying that we're going on hiatus, like, that blew up, which was amazing. But thank you for sticking around, and hopefully you guys listen to this and keep giving us feedback and topics for us to speak about. Speaking of that, our next reaction video will be the season finale of Loki. So
stay tuned, guys. Yeah. Come out for that one. That's gonna be really dope.
Yeah.
Because we have mixed reviews on it, of course, but we're gonna go ahead and see how this all ends.
Yeah.
One of us is gonna leave satisfied, one won't.
Hopefully both.
Hopefully both.
For your sake.
For my sake, because, I would hope so.
Yeah. But we're excited to do that. And I know we keep saying this, but
merch is coming out soon.
Blame Jamie.
It's fucking Jamie's fault.
Blame Jamie.
All Jamie does is just sit there and say, "Oh yeah, it's coming soon. It's coming soon." Then we have to relay the message to you guys,
and then nothing.
We apologize.
Yeah, it's coming soon. We hopefully could get out some designs for you guys to vote for, or maybe that's asking too much of us.
I mean, no, we could definitely do that. Let's work on that.
Yeah, we'll work on that, Jamie.
But on the same foot, we also want to close this out by saying, thanks, Jamie.
Appreciate
This has been the
you.
JaySquared Podcast.
Wait. Hold up. Before we close it out, I have to do this because I promised.
Go ahead, please do.
Shout out to my cousin Brandon. His favorite number is 9, and this is chapter 9. So I got
love
you.
Brandon. Yo, motherfucker got huge. Love
Amen.
that dude,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. So.
But hey, this has been the JaySquared Podcast.
Chapter 9.
Peace.